Right now, at this very moment, a silent and invisible process is underway within you. A sacred, rigorous, and often uncomfortable preparation phase that you did not consciously approve, but for which your deepest soul volunteered. If you're in the USA, UK, or anywhere feeling the intense friction between a burning desire for a new life and the frustrating, even painful stagnation or chaos of your current reality, understand this: you are not being denied. You are being prepared. Your sincere prayers, your manifestation lists, your desperate calls to the universe were heard with absolute clarity, and the quantum field has responded not by handing you your request, but by first making you into the person who can hold it without self-destructing. This is the divine timing of identity transformation, and everything you are experiencing, the delays, the breakdowns, the unexpected losses, the nervous anxiety, is evidence of quantum preparation. You were selected because you asked for more. If you are ready to understand this hidden process, to trust the process completely, and to cooperate with this profound spiritual awakening so you can finally step into the reality you asked for, hit subscribe now. What follows is the master blueprint to your own quantum leap. Script: the fundamental paradigm-shifting truth that bridges ancient spiritual growth and modern quantum physics is this: the quantum field, that infinite sea of pure potential where all probabilities exist simultaneously, does not respond to your words, your vision boards, or even your conscious desires. It responds, with impeccable and sometimes terrifying precision, to your frequency, the total vibrational signature emitted by the sum of your consciousness, which is overwhelmingly dictated by the deep, often hidden, programming of your subconscious mind. And this is where the critical, life-altering twist occurs in your journey of reality creation. When you sincerely ask, pray, or set an intention for a monumental shift, be it abundant wealth, a sacred partnership, vibrant health, or global impact, you are not sending an order to a cosmic warehouse for delivery. You are, in effect, broadcasting a frequency into the quantum field that says, I am ready to inhabit this reality, and the universe, in its infinite intelligence, takes you at your vibrational word and immediately initiates a preparation phase designed to make that statement true, to forge your entire being into a coherent quantum nexus capable of sustaining that new reality. And this preparation is not a gentle curriculum. It is a divine demolition and reconstruction project that first targets every aspect of your current identity, every subconscious belief, every unhealed trauma, and every nervous system dysregulation that vibrates in contradiction to your stated desire, because the law of attraction is not about attraction at all, but about resonant alignment. And you cannot resonate with a reality of peaceful abundance if your subconscious operates from a frequency of frantic scarcity, nor can you resonate with a reality of loving partnership if your nervous system is wired for abandonment. So the universe, in its grace, will orchestrate a series of events, often perceived as crises or losses, that serve one purpose: to bring those contradictory, lower-frequency patterns to the surface where your consciousness can finally see them and choose to release them. A process that feels like death because it is a death, the death of the old you who unconsciously created the very circumstances you now wish to escape. This is the observer effect of your own transformation. By observing with brutal honesty the fear, the lack, the unworthiness that arises in this preparation phase, you are not failing your manifestation. You are successfully collapsing the wave function of your old identity, making way for the new quantum probability to take root, and this is why divine timing is non-negotiable, for the field will not deliver the new reality until your frequency alignment is a coherent match, as delivering it prematurely would be like pouring 1,000,000 volts of energy through a frayed, thin wire. It would incinerate the circuit, which is your current life, leading to self-sabotage, overwhelming anxiety, or the rapid dissolution of what you've received. So the delays and tests are the universe's way of upgrading your entire system, mind, body, and spirit, to handle the increased energy load of your request. You are, in essence, being rewired for a higher voltage of existence, and this rewiring is what we call spiritual awakening, a consciousness expansion that is less about acquiring bliss and more about developing the profound capacity to hold intense energy without fracturing, to maintain coherence amidst chaos, and to trust the process when every logical sign says you are off course. This quantum preparation unfolds in distinct, often cyclical stages, beginning with the sacred disruption, where the comfortable patterns of your old life become intolerable or simply fall apart. The job you tolerated becomes suffocating, relationships based on old dynamics fracture, and a deep, restless emptiness grows despite external stability, because your soul has initiated the protocol and your higher self is now in direct collaboration with the quantum field to dismantle the hologram of your former limitation. And this stage is frequently misidentified as failure or a sign you've done something wrong, when in truth it is the first crucial evidence you've done something profoundly right. You've asked for more, and the universe has agreed to give it to you by first making space for it, clearing out the psychic and material clutter of the old reality to make room for the new. And this clearing is not passive. It is an active, often forceful energy movement that can feel like being in a spiritual washing machine, tumbling through cycles of doubt, grief, and confusion. The key here is nervous system regulation. For your biological hardware is being stressed by the sheer frequency shift occurring in your subconscious. Learning to breathe, to ground, to find moments of calm amidst the storm is not a retreat from your growth, but the essential maintenance of the vessel undergoing the upgrade. And as you practice this regulation, you move into the second stage, the revelation of the blueprint, where, from the stillness carved out by your own nervous system mastery, you begin to receive quantum downloads, flashes of insight, inexplicable knowings, dreams, and synchronicities that outline the next steps, not of your old life, but of the new one being birthed. And these are not logical 10-year plans, but quantum packets of information that often ask you to take small, seemingly irrational actions that make no sense to the old identity, but are the precise codes needed to further your frequency alignment with the desired reality. Actions like reaching out to a stranger, studying an unrelated topic, or creating art for no reason, and following these nudges is how you build coherence, for it is your conscious mind beginning to cooperate with the subconscious rewrite that is already in progress, proving your trust the process to the field. Then comes the alchemical fire of identity transformation, the hottest part of the forge, where you are presented with mirrors, in the form of triggering people, repeated patterns, and deep emotional wounds that reflect back the very subconscious programs currently being deleted. And your job is not to fix the external mirror, but to observe the reaction within you with the detachment of a quantum consciousness, to see the old story of, I am not safe, I am not enough, or I must control everything as it arises, and in that observation to choose differently, not through force, but through the simple, powerful act of feeling the old pain fully, while simultaneously anchoring in the knowing that it is an echo, not a truth, and this conscious feeling is the alchemy that transmutes leaden trauma into golden wisdom, upgrading your frequency at the root level. And it is here that you truly understand reality creation. You are not creating from a place of wanting something you lack, but from a place of consciously choosing the vibration of the state you wish to inhabit. And as you choose it again and again amidst the fire, the new you, the one capable of holding your request, begins to solidify, neuron by neuron, belief by belief. The final, most powerful stage is the quantum nexus point, where your internal coherence reaches a critical mass. Your consciousness, your subconscious beliefs, your emotional state, and your physical energy are all vibrating in relative harmony with your desired reality. You have become a quantum nexus, a human point where the infinite potential of the field converges with focused intention. From this state, the observer effect reaches its zenith. Your observation of your life is no longer from the perspective of lack, but from the perspective of the new identity that already is. This observation doesn't just notice reality, it commands it. It collapses probability waves with authority. And at this nexus, divine timing synchronizes with your readiness. The preparation phase culminates in what appears from the outside as a quantum leap, a sudden, rapid, and often miraculous convergence of opportunities, meetings, and provisions that seamlessly deliver the essence of what you asked for, though sometimes in a form even better than you imagined, because the field's intelligence exceeds your limited imagination. This is when you get what you asked for, not as a reward but as a natural consequence, as the universe's logical and inevitable response to a frequency that now matches it. The struggle ceases, the effort relaxes. Manifestation becomes less about doing and more about allowing, receiving, and stewarding the energy that now flows to you and through you with ease. You realize the entire journey, the disruption, the pain, the waiting, the work, was the gift. It was the preparation that forged within you the unshakable trust, the profound consciousness, and the resilient nervous system required to not only receive your dreams but to expand beyond them, to become a creator who understands that the ultimate manifestation was never the thing itself, but the spiritual growth into the sovereign being who no longer needs it to feel whole, yet gets to enjoy it completely. You were selected because your soul's request was bold. The process is the proof of your worthiness. The leap is your birthright. Now breathe and finish becoming. This alchemical fire of identity transformation, however, is far from a linear burn. It is a recursive spiral where each layer of the old self is stripped away, only to reveal another beneath it, each more subtle and entrenched than the last. And this is the universe's meticulous quantum preparation in its most precise form. You may experience what feels like cyclical failures, moments where you believe you've mastered a fear, only to have it resurface in a new, more sophisticated guise, or periods where your frequency alignment feels perfect, followed by a sudden, devastating trigger that plunges you back into emotional chaos. This is not a sign of regression, but of deepening excavation. The quantum field is not interested in superficial affirmations, it requires total coherence, and to achieve that, it will illuminate every hidden pocket of your subconscious that still vibrates with the old story. These cycles are akin to a quantum detox, where the soul, in collaboration with a higher intelligence, brings up the dross for purification. Each recurrence is an invitation to observe the pattern with greater quantum consciousness, to see it not as a personal failing but as data, a specific addressable frequency of limitation that is now incompatible with the new life you've requested. This is where trust the process becomes your most vital tool, for the mind will scream that you are going in circles, that this work is pointless, while in truth you are ascending a corkscrew staircase. From above, the path looks like a circle, but with each rotation you are measurably higher, your perspective broader, your vibration finer. The nervous system regulation you practice during these cycles is what allows you to stay in the fire without being consumed. It is the internal cooling system that permits the alchemy to continue, preventing a psychic meltdown and allowing for integration. This phase is the brutal, beautiful mechanics of spiritual growth, where you are quite literally rewriting your soul's contract with reality, dissolving the old agreements of lack, unworthiness, and separation at the cellular, neurological, and energetic levels. Within this fire, a fascinating quantum phenomenon occurs, the mirror of resonant echoes. The universe, acting as a perfect feedback system, will stop sending you major new lessons and instead begin reflecting back to you, through the people you attract, the situations you encounter, and even the media you stumble upon, the exact frequency you are currently emitting from your internal work. If you are processing deep-seated anger, you will meet angry people or encounter frustrating delays. If you are vibrating newfound but unsteady confidence, you will be presented with small opportunities to assert yourself. This mirror is not a punishment, it is a high-precision tuning instrument. It allows you to externally witness your own internal state, providing real-time feedback on your coherence. The moment you shift an inner pattern, when you genuinely, at a subconscious level, move from "I am a victim" to "I am sovereign," the external reflections will shift correspondingly. The angry people fade from your experience, or the delays dissolve. This is the observer effect in its most interpersonal form. By observing and changing your internal state, you collapse a whole set of external probabilistic realities and call forth a new set. This period requires radical self-honesty. You can no longer blame the world for your experience. The mirror shows you that the world is showing you yourself. This realization is the crucible of true power. It marks the transition from wishing for manifestation to commanding reality creation through the mastery of your own being. Simultaneously, during this mid-phase, you enter what can be termed the curriculum of divine opposites. To solidify a new identity, you must often be immersed in the energetic opposite of your desire. This is the universe's most potent teaching. Method. If your soul's request is for profound peace and financial abundance, you may be placed in scenarios of controlled chaos or financial constraint. Why? Because quantum physics and spiritual awakening both understand that a trait is only strong if it can hold its integrity under pressure. Peace is not the absence of chaos, it is the stability maintained within chaos. Abundance is not the absence of limitation, it is the creativity and trust cultivated within limitation. This preparation phase is stress-testing the new software of your soul. It is asking, can you remain in a state of grateful, knowing trust when the bank account is low? Can you access calm when everything around you is in upheaval? When you can, not through bypassing, but through genuine nervous system regulation and consciousness expansion that accesses a deeper truth, you pass the test. You graduate from needing the external condition to feel the internal state. This is the ultimate frequency alignment. You are no longer seeking abundance, you are being abundant, regardless of the temporary numbers in an account. This is the person who can safely, sustainably hold massive material wealth without it distorting their soul. This is the identity transformation that was always the true goal. Furthermore, this mid-journey is where divine timing often feels most excruciatingly slow because you are in the quantum womb, gestating. Significant consciousness expansion is not an event but a cellular process. Your very biology must catch up to your soul's blueprint. This involves epigenetic shifts, changes in brainwave dominance, more time in alpha and theta states, and increased sensitivity to energy. You may feel disconnected from normal time, experiencing bouts of fatigue or rapturous clarity. This is quantum preparation at the biological level. Your body is building new receptors for a higher vibration. To force the outcome now would be to birth something prematurely. The universe's trust the process is an injunction to honor this gestation, to nourish this fragile new identity with patience, proper sustenance, and protection from toxic influences. This is a time of sacred withdrawal, of saying no to drain, of prioritizing sleep, nature, and silence, not as laziness, but as the essential work of building your new foundation. It is also in this middle space that you encounter the phantom selves, the vivid, compelling visions of the people you could have been, the paths you didn't take, the lives that seem to glitter just out of reach. These are not mere daydreams, they are probabilistic echoes from the quantum field, other versions of you that branched off with different choices. They arise now for a crucial reason, to facilitate a conscious quantum choice. Your subconscious is being shown all the alternatives, all the other identities, so that you can, with full sovereign awareness, look at each and declare, no, that is not my path. I choose this becoming. This act of conscious choice, repeated, annihilates subconscious ambivalence and FOMO, fear of missing out, at the root. It generates tremendous coherence and power, funneling all your psychic energy into a single focused timeline, the one you explicitly choose. This is advanced reality creation, not just attracting what you want, but consciously discarding entire universes of possibility to fully inhabit the one you are crafting. This entire multifaceted, grueling, magnificent middle is the forge of the quantum nexus. You are being broken apart, not to be destroyed, but to be reassembled as a coherent point where spirit and matter can converse freely. Every tear shed is melting away rigid form. Every moment of surrendered trust is aligning your will with a higher will. Every conscious breath in the face of fear is regulating the instrument to play a finer song. You are not waiting for your life to begin. You are in the most critical chapter, the chapter where the protagonist is dismantled and rebuilt, equipped not with better weapons, but with a transformed heart and a renewed mind, capable of wielding the immense energy of answered prayers, not as a child with a bomb, but as a sage with a seed, ready to nurture a forest. This is the selection process. This is the preparation. And it is the surest sign imaginable that what you asked for is not only on its way, but that you are, with every fiber of your being, already becoming the living, breathing answer to your own deepest call. This profound mid-process, this relentless gestation, inevitably brings you to the paradox of preparedness, the unsettling realization that the more ready you become, the less attached you are to the specific outcome you originally requested. This is not a loss of desire, but the evolution of it through the fires of consciousness expansion. Your initial wish, the car, the partner, the sum of money, reveals itself as a mere symbol, a 3D placeholder your soul used to initiate this entire quantum sequence. The symbol's true purpose was to get your attention, to make you shout a desire into the quantum field so loudly that it would trigger the preparation phase necessary for your liberation. Now, deep in the work, you begin to sense the frequency behind the symbol. You no longer crave wealth. You crave the vibration of freedom, creativity, and security it represents. You no longer yearn for a partner. You yearn for the energy of union, reflection, and profound intimacy. This shift from the specific form to the essential frequency is the most critical milestone in your identity transformation. It signifies that your subconscious is finally upgrading its order from the universe. You are no longer asking for a thing, you are aligning with a state of being. And the universe specializes in delivering states of being in forms far more elegant and effective than your initial, limited imagination could conceive. This is why divine timing often involves the original request dissolving or morphing beyond. Recognition, because the quantum field is fulfilling the soul's deeper order, not the personality's shopping list. Concurrently, your sensitivity will heighten to an almost unbearable degree, a phenomenon known as bioplasmic recalibration. Your entire energy body, your aura, your chakra system, is being tuned to a finer bandwidth. You may find yourself overwhelmed by harsh lighting, loud noises, or the dense emotional energy of crowded places. This is not a malfunction, but evidence of your nervous system and extended consciousness becoming a more refined instrument. You are shedding the thick, insulating layers that allowed you to function in the lower frequency world of your old life. Now, you are developing the equivalent of psychic sensory organs. This heightened sensitivity, while challenging, is the very mechanism that will allow you to navigate your new reality with grace and precision. It is your internal GPS for frequency alignment. Discomfort in a certain environment or around certain people is immediate feedback that you are in a discordant vibration. This isn't a signal to judge the external, but to honor your internal state, to choose, protect, and curate your energy field with the ruthlessness of a master. This phase demands that you implement nervous system regulation not as an occasional practice, but as a continuous living discipline. It becomes the foundation upon which all else is built, the non-negotiable maintenance of your newly upgraded hardware. It is here that you also encounter the illusion of solitary journey. As the process strips you bare, you may feel profoundly alone, convinced no one could understand the depths of your deconstruction. Yet, this loneliness is the catalyst for a quantum connection. Your intense individual preparation is actually tuning you to a specific harmonic within the collective field. You are not being isolated, you are being specialized. And as you stabilize at this new frequency, you will begin to attract, seemingly from nowhere, your true nexus connections. These are not old friends or family, but resonant souls undergoing a similar quantum preparation. You will recognize them by the effortless depth of understanding, the lack of need for explanation, and the synergistic energy that emerges when you collaborate. These connections are the universe's proof that your internal shift is complete enough to sustain high-caliber, coherent relationships. They are part of the delivery, the living, breathing components of the new reality you're entering. Meeting them is a sign you are nearing the end of the mid-phase and approaching the quantum leap. The mid-phase also introduces the discipline of sovereign silence. This is the practice of ceasing to speak about your unfolding process, your dreams or your pains to those who cannot comprehend the quantum context. Every time you explain your spiritual turmoil or your visionary goals to someone operating from the old paradigm, you are inadvertently leaking energy and seeking validation from a source that cannot provide it. This drains the coherence you are working so hard to build. Sovereign silence is the act of nurturing your transformation in the womb of your own awareness, protected from the well-meaning but frequency-lowering opinions of others. You learn to hold the potent, unformed energy of your becoming within you, allowing it to grow in power and specificity without being diluted by external interpretation. This silence is not repression, it is reverence. It is the creation of a psychic quantum vacuum where the new reality can take shape without interference. In this vacuum, your subconscious rewiring accelerates, free from the static of others' doubts. Furthermore, the universe will now begin to administer micro-manifestation tests. These are small, seemingly inconsequential events designed to gauge your frequency alignment under conditions of receipt. You may find a small sum of money, receive unexpected praise, or get a minor opportunity that feels like your desired reality in miniature. Your reaction to these tests is everything. If you receive them with grasping excitement rooted in lack, finally, more please, you demonstrate you are still operating from a scarcity vibration, and the larger delivery will be paused. If you receive them with calm, grateful acknowledgement as natural confirmations of the new energy flow, thank you. This is a harmonious expression of abundance. You pass. You prove your nervous system can register success without going into addictive or desperate patterns. You show the field you are ready for a larger current. These tests are the universe's final gentle checks before connecting you to the main power grid of your destiny. This entire arduous, magnificent middle passage is therefore the actual manifestation. The external outcome you catalogued in your initial request is merely the trophy ceremony at the end of an Olympian training regime. The real prize is the identity transformation itself, the forged consciousness, the resilient nervous system, the coherent frequency that can now command and compose realities with the focused power of a quantum nexus. You are being selected not for a thing, but for an ontology, a way of being. The preparation is the promotion. Every tear is a baptism into a more authentic self. Every moment of surrender is a download of higher-order trust. Every conscious choice for alignment over comfort is a stroke of the brush on the masterpiece of your sovereign life. You are not walking a path toward your power. You are in the geometric center of it, being reconfigured cell by cell to wield it with wisdom, love, and unshakable grace. The universe is not making you wait, it is making you worthy of the world you asked for. And in the secret, silent workings of this quantum preparation, you are discovering that the world you asked for was always a mirror, and you are the one who has finally become clear enough to see your own true reflection staring back, not as a seeker, but as the source.